Hello, my name is Jared Lotz, and I'm here to teach you how to solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. So, if you're like me, then you went to a bunch of different videos of all these professional guys teaching how to solve a Rubik's Cube, which is wonderful, but sometimes it's kind of hard to tell what these guys are trying to say. So, I'm going to make this video for you to come to, in the case that you didn't understand a thing that they were trying to tell you, just like I didn't. Now, the first step to being able to solve a Rubik's Cube is understanding the Rubik's Cube, and I don't know why this helps, but when you understand how the cube works on the inside, you can really understand it in your head and be able to perform the algorithms that I will later teach you with more ease. So, in order to if you're going to take apart your cube, which I would not suggest because it's pretty difficult to put back together, but if you're going to take apart your cube, make sure you rotate the top layer half of a 90-degree turn, so 45 degrees, right down the middle, and then just pop it out with something sharp like a knife or a pencil. Pop out the edge piece right there. Some cubes can be stiffer than others. There we go. So once you get that edge piece out, you can basically just start moving it around and the whole thing will explode on you. Okay, so what I'm going to teach you has to do with this mechanism here that's on the inside once you've gotten your entire cube disassembled. So you'll notice that each piece, each centerpiece, is locked. They don't move. So this yellow piece right here can never be across from this blue piece. So if you have a solved cube, like this one right here, you can see that green always has to be across from blue because the green and the blue centers don't move. So if you see something like this, where we have the red center across from the blue center, that can't be solved. That's a cube that's unsolvable because that just doesn't exist because there's no piece here that has red and blue, and these pieces have to match up with their center colors. Since this is green and the center color is green, obviously the green has to match up with the green. And you'll understand this more in our first step of solving the white cross on the cube. Now, one of the most important things to understand when you're solving a Rubik's Cube is that these centers don't move, like I said. So, say this green piece in the middle here is always going to be across from this blue piece in the middle over here. So even if I scrambled up the cube, you'll still notice that this green piece is across from this blue piece. This white one is still across from this yellow one, and this red one is still across from this orange one. They don't change. However, this red piece, this red, green, and yellow piece, you can move, and it will move all over the place. Now, there are three different kinds of pieces that we talk about when we cube. This piece right here in the middle, called the centerpiece. This piece on the corner here that has 3 different colors on it. So this one has yellow, orange, and green. These pieces are all called corner pieces. And then these pieces in the middle that have 2 colors on them, this one is red and yellow, or blue and orange, these are called edge pieces. So the first step in solving the Rubik's Cube is getting a white cross. Now, a white cross is going to be a shape like this that revolves around the white center, because, as I said, the white center never moves, so when the cube is solved, this is the white side, right here. So we need to make a white cross that goes around the white center like this, like I have in this cube here, where we have a cross on the white center. So if we have something like this, that's not a cross because that's not white, obviously. So it's very simple just to move it to the white center. But you can't just make a cross. something like this, for example, is not a white cross because you have a white cross shape on the top, but this edge piece that has white and blue doesn't match up with the blue center. It needs to match up with the blue center because when it's solved, this is going to be on the blue side, and the blue side has blue in the middle. So that needs to be matched up with the blue center, like this. As you can see, we have the other ones done. So I will now teach you how to solve the white cross. Now, solving the white cross is a very simple step, but it's very intuitive. You have to encounter a bunch of different cases before you know how to do everything, and you never get the same scramble twice, obviously. So what you do in order to solve the white cross is always going to be different, but there's no real memorization to it. All you have to do at first is just make your white cross, and I will teach you how to do that. So, first we need to look, when we have our scramble, we're going to look first at our white side, which is the side that has white in the middle, and see if there are any white edge pieces that are already paired up. And as we see, there is one right here. So then we're going to look and see what color is with that. And as you can see, this color is red. So what we need to do is we need to match up this red with the red center. This is the orange one. So, since this is red, we need to rotate it over to the red side so that it matches up with red here. Now, since there are no more white edge pairs, we're going to look for another white edge, an edge piece that has white on it. And as you can see, there's one right here. So we're going to look and see what else is on that. So there's a blue. So this is the blue-white edge. So as you can see, it's already paired up with its blue center. So all we need to do is bring it up to the top, to the white side. And now we have our two edge pieces put in correctly. Next, we're going to look for another white edge. As you can see, we have this one right here. Now, this one's not in the right place because where it's going to be when it's correct is it's going to be up here between the orange and the white. So, since it's over here, we need to get it to a layer where we can move it freely. So, the only layers that matter of the cube when you're solving the white cross is the top two. So this bottom layer here, you can turn as much as you want, and you're never going to mess up this cross. So if we get this piece down to our bottom layer, by just rotating it down, just simply like that, because you can't do it like this, because then you mess up your red and white edge. So, we have to rotate it on an edge that we haven't already messed up, that we haven't already solved, sorry. So we bring it down to the bottom, where we can turn it and it won't matter to our cross that we've already solved. And we bring it over to the center that it goes with, which is orange, because that's what's with this white edge. And then we can rotate it to the top. Now what you see is that this edge is backwards. The white should be up here and the orange should be down here. And for this case, you need to learn a small algorithm in order to flip this edge. Now, an algorithm is a system of letters that we use in cubing that performs a certain task. The simple algorithm for the 3x3, you put the edge that you want on the right side. Now, here's where we need to go over notation. So, when we refer to something in an algorithm, it's always by a letter or a 2. So if we were to say R2, that represents a certain move with a certain side. That what I just did was R2. Now each side has a certain name. For this algorithm, you're going to hold this edge on the right side. For certain ones, you have to hold it in different places, so the sides aren't always going to be the same. This isn't always going to be on the top. But when you're holding the cube just like this is the R side, which is on the right. This is the F side, which is on the front. This is the L side, because it's on the left. This is the B side, because it's on the back. This is the U side, because it's on the top. And this is the D side, because it's down. So, if I were to do a little algorithm, we could do R2, U, R2. Now, if I were to just say U, that means you rotate that face clockwise. So if I were to say U, you'd look at the U face, and you'd rotate it clockwise. If I were to say B, you'd look at the B face, and you'd rotate it clockwise. So, if I were to say U prime, that would mean you look at the U face and rotate it counterclockwise. So, if I were to say B prime, you'd look at the B face, and you'd rotate it counterclockwise. So it just depends on which sides are where. So, with this algorithm, you're going to hold this edge so that it's still in the top here, on the right side, on the R face. And you're going to do the following algorithm. You're going to go R prime, U, F prime, U prime. And that'll flip it. Let me do that again. So you're going to go R prime, U clockwise, F prime, U prime. And that'll flip that edge. So, now we're going to look for our last edge. And that happens to be the one that goes right here, which is white and green. So green's going to be right here, white's going to be up here. And that edge is right there. Now, as you can see, this edge is already in our freely moving layer that we can move without screwing up our white cross. So, all we need to do is bring it over to the center that it matches up to, which is green, and rotate it to the top. And as you can see, you have your white cross that has all the colors aligned. Now real quick, I'm just going to go over one more example white cross solve. So, as I said before, we're going to first look at our white side, which is the side that has white in the very center. So the side that has the white centerpiece. And we're going to look and see which white edges are already paired up. And as you can see, these two are. Now we're going to look and see which center this one goes with on the front here, which is green. So as you can see, it's already matched up correctly. Now we're going to look at this one. This one is supposed to be matched up with the red center. So what we can do here, instead of just rotating it around to the red, which we could do, but that would screw up the green one that we had already. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate it to our freely moving layer, which is on the bottom, so on the yellow side. We're going to rotate it around to the red, so it's right here, and then we're going to rotate it up to the top again, so it matches up with the white. Now we're going to go find another piece, and here we have the orange-white one, and we're going to rotate it to the top, because since it's already matched up with its center, all we need to do is rotate it to the top. If it were right here, all we need to do is rotate it up to the top, because now it's where it goes, but it's backwards. And again, you're going to do the algorithm I already stated, R prime, U, F prime, U prime. And that'll just put that in nicely. We're going to look for our last one, and that would be the blue and white. So it's already in our freely moving layer here. So we're going to move it over to the center that it goes to, which is blue, because that's blue. And we're going to rotate it to the top. Now, as you can see, it's flipped. This algorithm again, R prime, U, F prime, U prime. And as you can see, the white cross is solved. Now, these are paired up. Now, it does not matter if this is white, or this is white, or this is white, or this is white, or this is red, blue, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the corner colors are right now, it just matters that you have a white cross that matches up with each center that it goes with.